Hey everybody, what's going on? Thanks for swinging by. I sure do appreciate it. If this is your first time with the channel, my name is Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Welcome to Fit and Fire. Let's get into this video. This time we're going to be looking at the Springfield Echelon, and for a lot of you, you might be a little surprised that I'm even looking at this pistol, because realistically, I haven't always been the biggest fan of Springfield. In fact, I have never been a fan of Springfield. But I have to admit that a couple of my friends have recommended this pistol to me. Some people that I've competed with have said that this is actually a pretty nice pistol and that I might enjoy it. So when this ended up at my local shop, American Cash Exchange, you guys know that's my home away from home. I appreciate all of their support. They do a lot to make these videos happen. So if you're in the Manhattan, Kansas area, please swing by, let them know that I sent you. Just jump in, say hi, see what they've got. And yeah, I appreciate their support. They had this. I went ahead and bought it. And then, surprisingly enough, it ended up me basically buying it from another friend of mine. He sold it to my local shop, and then I picked it up. So there is that. So my question to you guys is, do you think that this is going to be the Glock killer? It's been out for a couple of years, so it's been around long enough for people to get a good understanding of the pistol, how well it does or does not work. Me personally, I do not think that it's going to be a Glock killer because Springfield has a bit of a track record, especially with the XDs, of having some quality control issues and stuff like that. So is it there? I don't know. I know. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. For me, I'm actually pleasantly surprised with this pistol. I was hoping that it would fail, but in my initial impression, first 200 rounds that I've got through this, I've been very pleased with its performance so far. Not perfect. We'll talk about that here in just a second, because naturally, you guys know how I'm going to do things. I'm not getting paid to say anything good, bad, or indifferent when it comes to this pistol. I'm going to talk about the good with the bad and let you guys decide whether or not this pistol is going to be right for you. I did purchase this with my own monies, so I have no obligation to say anything good about this. I could crap on it all day long, but I'm not going to do that. There are some really great things going on for this. First and foremost is that grip texture. It's just like the Prodigy. I really did like the grip texture of the Prodigy. It's not over aggressive, but it really makes you feel as if you can get a good purchase in on this pistol. It's got a little bit of a flare here on the frame for you to use as kind of a gas pedal, so you can really get locked in with this pistol, and that's something I really do like. It's going to come with 17 round magazines. I've got an extension on here that gives me 21 rounds, and yeah, it works out really, really well as probably either a concealed carry or even a duty pistol. So it's very versatile in that aspect, something I do like. Nice high-vis tritium field front sight with a U-notch rear. I really don't care about those because A, that type of iron sights are not what I prefer. And in addition to that, as you can see, I am running an Aimpoint Acro, which loses my ability to co-witness. So the iron sights are inconsequential to me. Now, a lot of you might be like, oh, well, you're missing out on the best feature of the Echelon, that it has the VIS, the variable interface system that allows you to mount 30 plus red dots on it without a plate. Yeah, well, tons of other gun tubers out there have already done it. I'm not going to add anything to that conversation. It seems to work well. I would prefer to get more time behind the Acro P2 and learn a little bit more about its nuances than do something the same that everybody else does. So you will require a plate for this, which then loses your co-witness. So that's unfortunate, but this is kind of the setup that I like. I really do like the look of it, so there is that. Trigger on this is really, really nice. It's coming in right around that 5 pound mark, sometimes a little low, sometimes a little high, but we'll call it 5 pounds. Take up on this is exactly what you would expect for a polymer frame striker fired pistol. Breakover, nice breakover. Just a touch of a creep, but here's your reset, and then your break again. Pretty nice, pretty nice. I do like this trigger far better than a Glock, I will say. Freely admit that it's far better than a Glock. So again, got about 200 rounds for this. I did talk to the previous owner. He says he's got roughly 750 rounds, so we're just shy of 1,000. We're going to continue to work on this and push it into that 2,000 round mark because there's a lot of different things going on with the Echelon in the aftermarket to allow you to do some really cool things. I've got some things in the works that I'm going to do to switch out the grip module because this does have a fire control unit, much like the P320. So we can swap out the grip module. I've got one already lined up. I'm going to change out the magazine release on this as well. So we're going to do some things, nothing gaudy, but something nice. So there's that. Now let's talk about some of the things that I'm not liking about this. And first and foremost is going to be the accuracy. Now a lot of people are being like, oh, you need to shoot from a rest to get true accuracy and so on and so forth. Well, if I'm going to defend my home and I'm shooting from my master bedroom to the kitchen where someone might come in my house, that's roughly going to be somewhere around that 20 to 25 yard mark. And I'm going to need to shoot offhanded, standing, not from a rest. So I want to see how well this is going to group, basically. And what I found was it did not group well. It was larger than my hand, that 5 round grouping. Obviously, it wasn't zeroed, but the grouping was larger than my hand, and that's actually kind of surprising. Now, I was using Winchester 115 grain, so full metal jacket, just target ammo, but I will say that the Glock 19 Gen 5, the CZ-P10C, the CZ-P10F, the Ruger RMX, which is a pistol that I'm working on a review on, those grouped fine. They were fist size or smaller at 25 yards. So to see this be larger than that was kind of odd. I will freely admit that's probably a pistol versus ammunition issue, and I will also admit that there may be a little bit of me added to that to make it a little bit larger as well. So to be fair, we're going to look at that once again. We're going to get a couple of different types of ammunition through it, see what it likes the best, put in some defensive loads and see how well it groups, and we'll go from there. So I'm a little let down by the accuracy, but I'm not saying that that is a major issue because it could very well be a combination of a number of different things. So, but just something that took me back. I was like, that's odd. The next thing is going to be the trigger. The trigger, from what the internet says, if you believe the Reddits and all of that type of stuff, is that there is some inconsistencies with the trigger. I don't really know what they mean by inconsistent performance, but what I can tell you is just in the first 200 rounds, me shooting this at the range, I found that I would just be, shooting, everything's fine. I'd slow down, try to get a really good placed shot on target, and it would break over faster than I was expecting. Now, typically that's a good thing because that is usually when you extract the best accuracy, but this, it was surprising because I try to mimic that and it seems as if the trigger is even more difficult to break over. So I don't know exactly what is going on with that piece of it. Obviously, more time at the range will be necessary for me to really kind of diagnose or see with that. I'm curious to see if the fire control unit, right? So the FCU, much like the P320, may be causing some of that issue with all of the different tolerance stacking that you're going to have within that encapsulated fire control unit. That's what a lot of people are suggesting that is wrong with the P320. I don't know. I'm not going to weigh in on that. I'm not a mechanical engineer. But I just found it odd that that was something that the internet said was an issue, and I think I have seen that as well. Again, more range time will be needed. Finally is magazines. There have been some complaints about the magazines. I haven't experienced any of that yet, which is a good thing. But I've also seen that people have the ability to over insert these, breaking the ejector. So take that for what you will. Again, I don't manhandle my pistols. Yeah, I get the magazine into the pistol firmly, but I'm not I'm not like Hulk smashing this in there. So that's kind of some of the things that I have seen or heard of. Just wanted to report those things. This is a great pistol. I want to make sure that it is evidently clear. I've pleasantly surprised about this pistol. I'm actually really shocked that I'm saying that about a Springfield pistol, but I've also said that about the Prodigy. I liked it as well. This, I think, is going to be a viable option for a lot of different people because it's very flexible. You can carry it, you can use it for duty, and realistically, I'm hoping that this will be the final nail in the coffin for the XD series from Springfield because I can't stand those pistols. I wish those would just go away, and hopefully it will because of this. So there you have it. That is the initial look at the Springfield Prodigy. If there are things that you would love to see for me to do with this pistol, sound off in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Again, I have some things already lined up, but it'd be cool to see if we're thinking on the same page. And yeah, we'll go from there. We're going to get tons of more ammunition through that. And again, I've been pleasantly surprised with that pistol and hope to see it perform very well, especially in competition. We'll get some dynamic shooting footage at a local match and then two-gun match and stuff like that. So with all that being said, thank you so much for swinging by and checking things out. Again, this is just the initial look, first couple hundred rounds, and we'll get some more content going. If you guys haven't checked out the Live, Laugh, Larp podcast, there is links down in the pinned comment and description below for you guys to swing by and check that out. We got a new podcast every 1st and 15th of the month, so swing by, check that out, and I will hopefully see you guys there. As always, thank you so much for swinging by and checking things out. Freedom through strength. Here comes a high five. Bye, y'all.